Welcome to another connection here on TKO8 Television. Dennis King, thanks for joining us on the show this week. Each week we have different organizations from around the viewing area come in and tell us what's going on, and a lot of big projects always from many of these organizations, and of course they affect all of you in the viewing audience, particularly in the 5-6 county area that we broadcast in. Today we have two different groups coming in, one to talk about a huge project that they've been working on and getting closer and closer to fruition. The other is about the holidays and shopping and gifts, etc. So stay with us. Be back on Connection in just a moment. Many things have changed over the years, and so has auto body repair. Even though Ozark Auto Body has been in business for over 30 years, they continue to change with the times. They believe protecting the environment is important and have done so by using environmentally friendly waterborne paint from PPG. This aligns with the technology used by original manufacturers and gives you a lifetime limited warranty. Quality PPG waterborne paint, ASC certified personnel, plus 24-hour towing service. Ozark Auto Body in Harrison, always taking pride in excellence.
We all need the help of a pharmacy from time to time. Sullivan Pharmacy would like to thank all their customers for supporting them as an independent local pharmacy. When you trade with an independent pharmacy, you deal with an owner that supports the local economy and charities. Visit Sullivan Pharmacy for any of your over-the-counter or prescription needs. It's important to keep helping those that help the community. Sullivan Pharmacy, 731 Main Street, Harrison, serving this area since 1965.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television. Our first two guests in the studio today from the House of Hope. And we're going to talk about Hope Cottages, which is a big project coming up. Bill Knipe and Dolly Garrison, thank you both for coming in today.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it. Haven't seen you in a while. I know you've been out there beating the brush, so to speak,
Yes.
looking for donations and doing fundraisers. And we're going to talk about a fundraiser that they have coming up in the near future. Just briefly, we don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but maybe just a little bit quickly, House of Hope, which is where this is kind of all starting from. Bill, if you would tell a little bit, since you're the director down there, what you do at the House of Hope.
Okay, well, House of Hope is a homeless day center, and we provide basic services such as meals, showers, and laundry. And then along with that, we also offer case management, help them with job searching, things like that. You know, for example, you know, it's we had a lady that recently came in, and she really needed to be in a shelter, and so we helped provide her transportation to a shelter because, as we know, there are no shelters here in Harrison. Yeah. Ideally, we will get to the point where we can put up a shelter, say, for men, but right now we're starting with Hope Cottages, which is going to be transitional housing for single moms and their minor children, because to us they seem to be the most vulnerable right now.
Absolutely. You know, you've come a long way. The House of Hope, if I recall from my notes as we started this with you many years ago, I think this is like the 5th year you've been the House of Hope, is that right? July of 2012? Somewhere?
Exactly.
Okay. So you've come a long way since then. You've had to endure the flood. So flooding at the House of Hope. And how's your kitchen remodel coming along?
The kitchen remodel is great. Literally fire suppression people are there right now, putting the finishing touches on that part of it. Then once that's done, we will be able to bring in the city to have them inspect the stove and the griddle, and after that we should be set to go. And I want to say right now, I'm so thankful for the city, who is helping us to get not only put back what had happened, but also helping to remodel the interior, and it looks so nice right now. We have a little bit more. We have the back offices to remodel as well, but it's looking really, really nice. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to be doing this. I also want to thank, like Shane Wallace with Wallace Construction. They're the ones who actually remediated everything
Right.
and
After your
did a
flood
lot of the
damage.
building. And there's so many other agencies, businesses that have helped us with this. There's literally a laundry list.
All right. So it won't be too long that you'll be able to start doing meals again.
Exactly.
Obviously.
Well, we have been serving.
Oh, have you?
We have been serving clients since like the second day after
okay.
the flood.
Okay. So
It's-
you just had to get the food.
We just had to get the kitchen up and going. But as soon as we get the kitchen finished up and certified, then we will be able to go back to start doing the Hopeful Meals,
Gotcha.
which that was a program that we provided meals to the general public on Thursday nights.
Okay.
And we'll be ready for that here real soon.
Very good. Very good. Of course, Dolly, you've been the chairperson of this whole fundraising program, which is quite an undertaking. I must say, anytime you do a fundraising of any magnitude, you have to have lots of help, and you have to spend lots of time and a lot of hours and a lot of miles getting out there. You've had 2 fundraisers, if I recall, already, and
Yes.
you've got one coming up. A little bit about what you're trying to do. You're trying to build a 8 cottage transitional housing, as Bill mentioned, for single mothers and children. The pretty big cost to this project. You received a grant. I see where you went to Little Rock.
Yes, we went to Little Rock and had the formal presentation of the community block grant for $86,000, and that's a huge step forward in getting the money together. We need close to $400,000 to do the complete remodeling of the old St. John's Day School buildings, but it's perfect location, perfect setup for women and children. And we're working on the fundraising right now. We've had 2 events. We had a concert, then we had a fashion show and luncheon, which was a big hit. The ladies really turned out for that, and we're so grateful to have the community support. And the anonymous donor that offered us a $50,000, up to $50,000 matching donation, we have a deadline of the end of this year.
Okay.
So the time is fast approaching. Right now we're a little over half. We've got $28,000 toward that 50.
Okay.
And so we're hoping we have a big response for the dinner. The tickets are $15 each. November the 11th is the date at 6 p.m. at the Northside Church of Christ, and they have a lovely activities building where we'll have not only the dinner but a big silent auction, which will people always enjoy those. And so we hope that if people can attend, they can either purchase their tickets at House of Hope or at Hudson Supermarket, or they can actually call Bill at the House of Hope, and he will use their credit card to, they can place their order by credit card over the phone, and they don't even have to, go to Hudson's or House of Hope. But if people can't attend the dinner, we hope that they will send us a donation to make the check out. Be sure and make the check out to Hope Cottages and mail it to Post Office Box 1645. Harrison. And that way we hope that we'll be able to match the $50,000, and if we do, we'll be able to start the reconstruction in January. So we're really excited about that possibility.
I know that not unlike the city, obviously, getting on board and making the old RSVP building, I call it, available for the House of Hope, and of course they've been utilizing that. But likewise, the church worked a good program with you to have that location.
Yes, a long-term lease for 20 years, and it's renewable after the 20 years at $10 a year. And so we're so pleased because, it's been well received by all the different agencies in Harrison. In fact, Paul Woodruff, the police chief, has agreed to have a security camera at the dispatch desk so that it can be monitored 24 hours a day. So there'll be lots of security, up-to-date lighting and everything there, as well as it'll be a gated community.
Very good.
And so there's such a need for this.
Yes, there
Every
is.
year, at least 150 children in the Harrison Public Schools are identified as homeless. And we did a survey last spring, and there are actually 275, or there were at that time, 275 children who had no place of their own to call home. And that doesn't count the preschoolers.
Right.
So it's a serious problem, and we've just got to address it in our community.
You know, one thing I know in following your project here, that the Hope Cottages, the group, Dolly and all of the group that's spearheading this thing, I know you've gotten churches involved
Yes.
to adopt a cottage type thing, which I think is very important, because it's one thing to build, it's another to maintain and move forward with it. And
Right.
so I think that's important for numerous reasons. You know, obviously you're not looking for a denominational facility. Any
no.
church can be involved, and I think you do have, don't you,
We
either
have-
individuals or churches that have adopted the cottages?
We have 5 churches, 4 different denominations that have signed letters of intent to adopt a cottage for a year
Okay.
and pay $1,500 up front to be held in reserve, and $500 a month to pay for the utilities, security, and insurance, and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And 3 individual business people that
Okay.
have been so committed to this that they signed letters of intent.
Very good.
So there's, I think, a lot of interest in the community
That's
to
great.
address the problem, and we can self-sustain it once we get it reconstructed.
Yes.
So we just need the money now to reconstruct it.
Yeah. Obviously, the project itself is a big project, and I know that you know there's people out there that can donate cash. But if somebody was saying, you know, I don't really want to do cash, but you know, I've got this business, I can do an in-kind and help them with this when they get started, I'm sure you'll be looking in that direction
Yes, we are
as well.
looking in that direction, and we would welcome a discussion with anyone about
good.
in-kind donations
Yes, yeah.
of materials and or labor.
I don't know if you know this, but I received an email just yesterday from someone who was asking about Dewey new washers and dryers because they have a connection, and so I provided them with the information of how many washers and dryers are we looking at, and that's exactly because that $400,000 price tag is retail. It's if we had to buy everything retail, if we had to pay all the labor retail.
Right.
So if we get things like help with the washers and dryers, roofing, HVAC, all of those kinds of things.
Anything like that
painting.
reduces. Sure.
Yep. All that just simply reduces that price tag.
Right. Obviously, first thing they need to do is come up with this money to match the $50,000 anonymous donor here who says they will donate up to $50,000. And once you get to that point, then you can do some trimming, hopefully,
Right.
with some of the
Good point,
other
yes.
options that you have, whether it's floor covering or HVC or whatever along the way. So, well, it looks to me like you've come a long way in a short period of time, and I know it's taken a lot of manpower, person power, I'm sorry. That's an old adage we shouldn't use anymore. Person power to move this thing forward. And I know you've been a big part of that, Dolly and Bill. Obviously, you doing kind of wearing 2 hats, House of Hope and then the Hope Cottages program. And there's other volunteers I know that's putting a lot of time on this too. So we hope you are successful there. We do want to mention again while we're on the show, don't forget Saturday, November the 11th, it'll be at 6 p.m., Northside Church of Christ here in Harrison. And they're going to have the dinner and a silent auction. Tickets are $15. Get them at Hudson's Grocery, House of Hope, or give a call to Bill down at House of Hope, and he can even put it on your credit card. And if you don't show up, it's a great donation. It doesn't really matter, but they need to know the numbers so they can get the correct amount of food, I'm sure. For
Right,
everybody.
and I'm sorry, we
No,
might
no.
mention that the deadline for buying tickets is this Friday the 3rd.
so try to get in
because we have to let our caterer know how many.
How many you got? I understand. Well, we hope the best. Great
you.
project, and community needs it. If you can help Hope Cottages, please do so. No amount's too small. Obviously, they'll take as much as they can. Dolly, thank you so much.
Thank
Bill,
you.
thank you
Thank
for
you,
coming
guys.
in. We're going to touch base with you in January 1, and we'll see that figure that you've met there, and you get this thing going.
Great,
Awesome.
thank
Thank you.
you.
Stay with us. Be back in a moment. We're going to talk with some individuals about an event coming up for the holiday season. Maybe a little shopping for you on Connection.
A hint of autumn is in the air, and the staff at Sisters Flower and Gift Shop invite you to stop in and browse their selection of new fall and holiday gift ideas. Check out their expanded line of baby and toddler clothes, sleepwear, toy items, and accessories. For you Razorback fans, Sisters has a good selection of mugs, trays, banners, and carry bags. From fall and holiday floral arrangements, unique centerpieces, colorful wall decor, or exquisite serving pieces and accessories, Sisters has just the right item for any occasion. Sisters Flower and Gift Shop. We are so much more than flowers.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television, Dennis King. Thanks for joining us on our Connection show this week. Our next guest in the studio is going to talk about something a little different. The holiday season is just around the corner, and we're going to have a marketplace where you can go and find all kinds of arts and crafts, etc., right here at the Duran Center. Dale Bishop, thank you for coming in today and representing the group.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
This is, how many years you said you've been
This
doing?
is our fifth season.
Fifth season.
We're doing it the second Tuesday of November every year. We're planning on doing it as long as we can.
I know last year we had someone else came in and talked to us about it, and there's several people involved in your group. This is at the Duran Center, so it's almost like a shopping show, if you will. You're going to have booths set up. Is that correct?
It is. We have about 70 vendors this year. We have everything from some direct sale vendors, which would be like clothing, LuLaRoe clothing or Tupperware, to arts and crafts. We have artists. We have crafters like me who just do basic crafts. We have some of the most beautiful hand-carved items. So there's everything you could want in arts and crafts and Christmas shopping, and it's really all about shopping local because most of our vendors are within about a 50-mile radius of home. So when you say shop local, you're really shopping local, not just a local boutique, but local crafters and local vendors.
And, you know, surprisingly, or not surprisingly to some people, but I've always been amazed that in our area here, in kind of our viewing area, 5-6 county viewing area, we have a lot of arts and crafts individuals. And I'm talking about craftspeople, anywhere from paintings to sculptures to you name it. They do all kinds of, and you see some at some of the outdoor events that we have around the area. Of course, War Eagle was a big event that happened recently, and a lot of those same vendors, I'm sure, will come to this event. They follow these events. The good thing about this is it's inside.
It's inside. It's in the Duran Center. They have the most beautiful Christmas tree you'll ever want to see. We'll have Santa Claus there all day to take pictures with the kids. Professional photographers are coming in, so you can get your picture with Santa for $5, and that's a lifetime souvenir that you'll always enjoy. But it's a beautiful, of course, climate controlled. We have a food truck coming, so if you get hungry, you can get a snack. And we also have some of our vendors have everything from baked goods to handmade caramels, jellies, breads, you name it.
I've noticed on my schedule here of some things that you've got, let's talk about a couple of the events you got with Home Depot. I know you've got something going on with them.
Yes, from 10 to 3, Home Depot is doing a Santa's Workshop.
Okay.
And what that is parents and children together will get to build their own, I'm not sure if it's an ornament, some kind of Christmas-related craft item, and it gives the children and parents an opportunity to do something together, create another lifetime memory.
Great, that's fantastic.
And then we also, at 11 and 1, we have the North Arkansas Youth Fiddlers performing on the stage. So you get to see some of our very talented musicians in the area come in and add a little Christmas atmosphere.
You've got a couple of things here. Why don't you maybe to start off with one of those, maybe hold it right in front of you there.
We'll just start with this. This is a needle-felted Santa, and he's handmade. I think he's quite charming. And the lady that makes this also has needle-felted nativity scenes. She does purses and several different items. But I thought he had a lot of character, so I wanted to bring him with me today to show how pretty he is. He's got his beautiful cape on.
And that is called what? Needle?
Needle-felting.
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 Ah, very unique.
And I like him. I think he's a cutie.
Very unique.
And the other thing I brought today, this has just been kind of a fun item this year. This is what we call just a flannel with designs on them. This one has the most popular design, the Razorback, of course. Cool. And since they won Saturday, we're all happy.
They did win. They did
but
win.
These are lots and lots of fun. So, you can pick these up there,
that
too.
Razorback would have been running the other direction if we'd lost. He
would have.
That was a good win. So the event itself, talk a little bit about the times. And is it a one-day or two-day event?
It's a one-day event, November the 11th, which is Veterans Day, and we start from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And so that gives people time that if they want to go to the Veterans event, I'm sure there'll be something on the square or in the Lyric this year, they can come to shop after the event. And some of our vendors in honor of Veterans Day are also offering little discounts to veterans.
Well, that's good. So some of your some of the vendors there will actually be doing the arts and crafts, but then you're going to have some direct vendors, you said, too?
Yes. We have, as best I know, we have LuLaRoe, we have Tupperware, we'll have Scentsy, we'll have some of the basic home party type vendors. They do home parties and they do venues like this and set up a table where you can get that Tupperware that you've been wanting for a long time that you haven't been able to find, or get that blouse that you're looking for. And I believe some of the local boutiques in town, I'm not sure which ones, but some of the local boutiques in town will have a table there or a booth there too. So,
speaking of your booths now, if somebody out there has a business or is into the crafts and so forth, is it too late to get in? Are you full as far as booths
We
go?
are full, but we do have a waiting list.
Okay.
And what they would want to do, there's a Facebook page called Skills from the Hills, and we also have a Facebook page just for the event. It's called Holiday Marketplace.
Okay.
And they can private messages through that if they'd like to be put on the waiting list.
Okay. So you're full, but there's always somebody dropping out or issues come up or whatever.
You never know.
Okay.
Sometimes, there might be an illness or they might have a breakdown or something, a change in their plans, and they can't come. So sometimes at the last minute, there will be an opening and give somebody else an opportunity to slip in there.
Do you have, this being your fifth year to do this, I'm assuming a lot of these vendors are repeat that have been coming probably since day one?
This actually is my third year to do it.
Okay.
We have several vendors that this is a staple every year. This is an event they come and do every year because they have enjoyed a great success with it.
Right.
We have a great turnout, good crowds, a lot of fun.
Now, as far as the public goes, you didn't mention anything about it, but there's no cost.
No cost to come in.
For the public.
Right. No cost to come in. Just come on in, take your time, check out all the booths, and take home some great Christmas items.
If you happen to be somebody out there that you maybe want to get your name on the list as a vendor, do you have different size booths, or what's the cost of
we have several different size booths.
What do they range?
Anywhere from $35 to $65. We don't have huge vendor fees like some events.
Right.
We try to keep it affordable so everybody can participate.
Okay.
They might be able to participate in a small booth this year and grow their business and come up to a bigger booth. Personally, I have a 10 by 10 booth. I get the biggest booth available because my booth, I carry a lot of items.
Right. So you have a booth too?
I do.
So what do you?
My company is called Fresh Mountain Soaps.
Okay.
And I have all natural soaps. The flannels are mine. I do everything from boot belts to aprons, just all kinds of handmade items.
Okay.
We have another soap vendor that I know, Sephora Soap. She has lovely soaps. She's from Diamond City. So we have two soap vendors this year. We have last year, for instance, we vendors do a lot of our Christmas shopping there.
Okay.
I bought two of the most beautiful hand-carved wooden spoons for a dear friend in Little Rock, serving spoons. So we shop the holiday marketplace too.
That's good. And I would assume, and I've been to some of these crafts events, it's usually it's a lot less expensive to shop there than it is go to a big box store. And I won't mention any names, but some of the big box stores you can buy some of these type items, but obviously not all of them. But usually the pricing is very reasonable for this kind of stuff.
Everybody try to keep their pricing reasonable. My theory for my products is I want to make it where people can buy something and not feel bad about it and still be able to come back as a repeat customer.
Right.
And I'm sure most everybody else is the same way. I'm always surprised at how affordable things are at these events. I mean, you can find items very expensive, but they are absolutely works of art.
Right.
So you can spend as little or as much as you want.
I mean, I know I'll put you on the spot. You may not know the Santa. Do you have any idea what that person?
Honestly, I have no idea.
What about the shirt?
The shirt's $35.
$35. Okay. So give you a little idea of what you're talking about out there. You know, going back, we just got a few minutes left, but for instance, you're talking about your vendor fees ever kind of running between $30 and $60 for a booth. You know, quite frankly, that's very inexpensive. You couldn't be making a whole lot of money. I know you probably have to rent the space.
We do.
At the Durand Center by the time you pay for that rental space. So I asked the question to Dale before we got started. I said, what do you do with your money that if you're making money? Well, that doesn't look like they're making a whole lot of money. They're putting on the event unless they're actually a crafts person themselves where they're selling products down there. But you also take that money and you use it to promote the event coming in the future. Is that correct?
We do. We have to obviously rent the facility. We
Right.
have to, anymore you have to hire security when you have an event. And then we spend a lot of money on advertising.
Right.
We were blessed by the Convention and Visitors Bureau here in Harrison this year with a small grant to help us with our advertising. So we were able to get the word out a little farther and bring people in from out of town who in turn will eat at our restaurants, stay at our motels. So, and then what's left will go towards next year's advertising. We do it for the love of the craft, you know, for the love of what we do.
Well, you know, there's always lots of, particularly in the fourth quarter of the year around this part of the country, there's always crafts fairs going on somewhere. But, you know, a lot of them, particularly you're looking at November, which, you know, you can have all kinds of weather middle of November. To have this inside where you've got heating and cooling, you got the facilities, the bathrooms there. You do have food vendors, is that correct?
Yes, we have a food truck coming in this year, and he'll be in the parking lot, and so they'll have sandwiches and light snacks out there. And then, like I said, some of the vendors are selling food items, everything from baked goods to candy to soup mixes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, you're always going to have, if you're looking for some recipes or some items for the holidays when it comes to food, you're always going to have some food vendors there.
Oh,
Usually
absolutely.
some pretty good ones, too.
Oh, yeah.
But, well, it sounds like another, here you go, another way that you can do some early shopping for the holidays. It's a holiday marketplace. The Skills from the Hills is the group, and it's going to be Saturday, November the 11th. It'll be from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. at the Durand Center. You'll be in the big part, I'm assuming, down there. They'll probably have
We have booths in the atrium and also in the big meeting room.
Okay, so both.
Both. It is full, and there's lots of people, lots of fun.
Yeah, 70 booths. That's a lot of booths to put in there. So you will have a lot. All kinds of handmade items, great food, and just a lot of fun. So go by and enjoy, do a little early Christmas shopping. Again, November the 11th at Durand Center. Dale, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you
I
so
appreciate
much
it.
for having me.
Good luck with your event this year.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Connection this week. We hope we brought some information to you that perhaps you didn't know about. Join us each week. And if you'd like to be on the Connection Show, give us a call here at Studio 741-2566.
KTKO Channel 8 Harrison. Local television worth watching.